Why, hello there, Rip City. Welcome into the fifth quarter here. Chris Burkhardt here with you, breaking down the Trailblazers' unfortunate 110-93 loss to the New York Knicks tonight at Madison Square Garden. And it was another game where Blazers played good for a half, and then you heard Travis say it multiple times on the broadcast. They ran out of gas, ran out of gas. And I definitely think that was what happened tonight. I mean, you look that defense from the New York Knicks is absolutely relentless. It is going to make you work. They are going to be physical. Keep in mind, coach said, he thought that the team was out physicaled in Sacramento. And honestly, I thought they tried to be physical with the Knicks tonight. And that's kind of what wore them down late because they just couldn't keep up with them. The second quarter, the Blazers outscored the Knicks 33-23, and in fact, they went on a 23-5 run to end the quarter, and they would lead at halftime 58-50. Denny had 22 points, Tumani Kamara 13 points, 5 rebounds, Shaden Sharp 11 points, and Ant Simons 10 points, all in the first half there. Then in the second quarter, the Knicks ended the quarter on a 22-7 run to storm back. They had a 79-78 lead. And then in the fourth quarter, they held the Blazers to just 15 points, outscoring the Blazers 31-15. You add the fourth quarter with the third quarter, your Trailblazers scored just 35 points in the second half, which is their lowest scoring second half of the entire season. In fact, it is their lowest scoring half of the season. Their lowest scoring first half was a 38-point first half against the Clippers on January 16th. And their lowest scoring second half was, until tonight, a 38-point second half against the Minnesota Timberwolves back on February 8th. So, not the best performance from your Portland Trailblazers. And the Knicks, again, they took care of business. You look at this one, when you break it down, the biggest lead for the Trailblazers was 14. The biggest lead for the Knicks was that final score, which was 17 points in the paint. Portland had 50. The Knicks had 62. Portland had 10 second chance points. New York had 4. Fast break points. New York had 26. Portland had 16. Bench points. New York 23. Portland just 4. Dwight Reith, the only player on the Blazers bench to score in this game. Delano Banton, 0 points on 0 of 6 shooting. Matisse Thybulle, 0 points on 0 of 2 shooting. Justin Minaya, 0 points on 0 of 1 shooting. Scoot Henderson, keep in mind, didn't play in this game as he is in concussion protocol. Taking a look at the New York Knicks side of the box score, Josh Hart had 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. That hurts. He is a former Blazer, and I kind of wish he still was. 28 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists from OG Anunoby, 10 points for Karl Anthony Towns, 28 points for Mikal Bridges. He is kind of the Blazers' just kryptonite, if you will. He goes out and he goes crazy. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, 2 players that the Knicks gave up a lot of assets to get because they thought they were going to get them over the hump. They showed up with no Jalen Brunson to combine for 56 points in this one. 7 points for DeLon Wright, 11 points for Landry Shamet off the bench, and 10 points for Precious Achua off the bench. On the Blazers side of things, Denny Avdia, another incredible game. He had 33.7 rebounds, 4 assists, had his fingerprints all over this game, did everything you needed him to do. And again, it just wasn't enough, but it was a very, very good game from him. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists for Tumani Kamara, 2 points from Donovan Clingan. Again, the offensive game from the Blazers big man continues to leave much to be desired, but he did have 10 rebounds and 2 block shots. Hopefully the offensive side will come in the long run. 23 points for Shaden Sharp on 10 of 18 shooting, 15 points for Anthony Simons on another rough night. 5 of 20 from beyond from the field, 1 of 8 from beyond the arc. He did have 4 assists, but we've said this one before. When your best scorer, the guy who's supposed to be your best scorer, struggles from the field, you're going to have rough nights, and they did that tonight. So 93 points from your Portland Trailblazers, 89 of them coming from the starters, which is, that's not a recipe for success, right? That is not what you want. to see. That's not what you want at all. Keep in mind, though, surprisingly enough, that 93 points is not the lowest the Blazers have scored this year. The fewest they've scored, 88 at Houston on November 22nd. So there you go. There's some numbers: 88, 89, 89, 89, 93. So this is the fifth lowest scoring game for your Trailblazers. And again, it was just overall just a rough night, and the team just ran out of gas. And this is something we said in the pregame shows: you cannot have another day where you let the other team just get hot. Well, what happened? This is now, the third game in a row that the team they're playing has shot greater than 50% from the floor. New York shooting 53.6% from the field, shooting 40%, 10 of 25 from beyond the arc. So a good shooting night for the New York Knicks. They out-rebounded the Blazers 44-39. They had 27 assists to 19 assists for your Portland Trailblazers. So again, connect all the dots. I mean, the recipe was there. It was ready to cook. It was ready to cook. Kirk in the YouTube chat says it's root pair. Time to play him. Yep, I liked it. I like that. And then Kirk also says this 8-man rotation is why Portland looks tired. I mean, I don't think you're getting an argument for me there. I mean, if you can play some of those guys a little bit more, yeah, it would help. But also at the same time, it is unfortunate when obviously DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Jeremy Grant, Scoot Henderson, all out. Would have been a great game to get Bryce McGowan some run, but he's out. So that's unfortunate. But you could have possibly played a little bit more. I mean, I don't know if you needed to go 40 minutes strong for Tumani and Denny Avdia as well as Shaden Sharp. I mean, you could have got Matisse in there for more than 12. Probably could have got Chris in there for more than 5. And just let those guys not get so tired. I would hope that the tired legs and the fatigue doesn't lead to injuries down the road here with 7 games left. Because this win over the Knicks, I don't know if it was that important. Because here's the deal. Travis said it on the broadcast. They need this win to hold on to hopes of the play-in, and I really think I get it. I get it. That's what the people like myself who have talked about win. You get the play-in. You want to hold on to that hope, but the hope's gone. Like, it was gone going ahead of this game. I mean, prior to the Sacramento game, it was gone, but now it's definitely gone, as you are now 4.5 back of Sacramento for that 10 spot with 7 games left to play. So math doesn't math, right? That's a little rough. It's a little bit rough. Again, it is what it is. Tough game for the Blazers. Now the road trip gets a little bit easier, though. It does get a little bit easier for your Portland Trailblazers, and there's a chance to rattle off some wins. And maybe, though, you want to keep losing because Tankathon has all of a sudden got really interesting. But the rest of the way, you have Atlanta, Toronto, and Chicago to round out this road trip. And remember, home against San Antonio April 6th, on the road against Utah April 9th, and then you wrap up the season with Golden State on the 11th and the Los Angeles Lakers on the 13th. Still a couple wins in there, but right now, yeah, you're looking at that 8 seed and where things go from here. This is the 5th quarter. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. Or, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there as well. We're going to take a quick little break here on the 5th quarter. When we come back, it's time for our drive of the night and our shot of the night. I know there's some in there. I know Shea had some highlights. He absolutely did. So did Denny. I know they're in there. They're playing really well before the legs got tired. Oh, my gosh. The Knicks team's really good, though. This Knicks team is built. This team is going to be interesting, man, because if they're healthy, this team is built for the playoffs. Like, they're not the number 1 team in the East, right? They're right there, though. But, man, guys like Hart, Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges, just big dudes who can play multiple positions and they defend physically. This is a playoff team built for the playoffs. It's going to be fun to watch them in the postseason. Chris Burkhardt here with you. The 5th quarter rolls on after the break right here on your home of the Blazers, River City Radio 620.
It's time for the fifth quarter shot of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Blazers down 6. Denny on the perimeter. Thought about the three. Gives it to Sharp. Back up top to Avdia. 14 to shoot. 3.5 to play in the period. Denny for three. Buries it again. 16 for Avdia.
It's time for the fifth quarter drive of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Ball is tapped by Avdia to Klingon. Here comes Simons with the lob to Shannon Sharp, and he dunks it in.
Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. How would I know Brenden was going to get that Shade Sharp dunk? I just had a feeling. All right, Blazers go into Madison Square Garden. They drop one to the Knicks, 110-93. They scored just 35 points in the second half, the lowest scoring half, either first or second, all season long for your Portland Trailblazers. So just a rough night all the way around. And again, I know it sounds like a cop out a little bit, but I think it's fair to say that Travis was right when he's saying like the team just ran out of gas. Oh my gosh, sorry, my wife sends me texts. She throws me off my game, and she's very good at it. Brenden, you have a friend or mom, someone text you, throw you off your game every once in a while? My wife's very good at it.
Yeah, mom's good at that too.
So shout out to the wife, always keeping me honest. But yeah, the Blazers just ran out of gas, man. Just like me on the side of I-5, they should have called Brenden. Brenden could have saved him.
I mean, I am 2 for 2, man.
He is 2 for 2.
That's pretty good odds.
Saving
I'm not
me
gonna
on-
lie.
saving
Maybe I should
me on
start
the side of the
Brendan's
road.
AA roadside service, man. Watch out, AAA.
Yes, you absolutely should. I think it would be beneficial to you.
But yeah, the Blazers could have used some extra gas tonight, Chris. No question.
They definitely could have, or they could have made sure that they charged their electric car, whatever it is. They just didn't have it. I think you do got to shout them out for that first half. Thought the first half was good. Obviously, they went into the halftime locker room with the lead, but just overall, I mean, the defense has got to find a way to step up in the long run. And I know there's only 7 games left, and they'll figure that out. But it's just struggling when you're out there. And again, you face all these best teams in the league now. I mean, this last 4 games, it was Boston, Cleveland, and now New York. And you throw Sacramento in there, who's a playoff team, play-in team right now. And these guys are shooting 50% or better every single night. And that is going to be hard to win when your defense can't get stops. You got to get stops. And Portland did. Obviously, they went out on that big run, but then after that, it was just a little too much for them to stomach. All right, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, or you can go to Twitter. Chris J. Burkhardt's the name on Twitter and Blue Sky. B_slot is the name for Brenden over there. Brenden used to be my friend. He's a little mad at me now because my gauntlet of missing a few games and letting him host is over. So now I have to host everyone, and he's upset with me.
Oh, I'm mad about that?
Yeah, he's mad with me. I know you're just learning about it. Like, you're just now realizing that you're mad about it because I told you, but you're mad about it.
What was the first thing I said to you after? Because there was only one time out of Chris's stretch where I had to do back-to-back Blazer games. And what was the first thing that I said to you when I saw you back, Chris? I said, it's a little different. Takes a little bit more preparation, a lot more respect on that side of the chair, brother.
Hey, that was exactly what you said. You're like, I respect your ability to do that show with no questions asked. And it's like, hey, yeah. I see. It's funny because you learned the back-to-backs are easy but hard. The easy part is that you have all your content ready made because it was just the game the night before. It was done. But then the hard part is you already have your content ready made. It's like, how do I do the exact same show without being boring? That's the hard part. That's the hard part. I think I'm entertaining. My wife says I'm entertaining. My kids say I'm entertaining.
Those are the only votes that really count.
I know. I feel like Millhouse and The Simpsons. But my mom says I'm cool. All right. Let's head out to the phone lines where Christina's been waiting patiently. Christina, welcome into the fifth quarter.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. That was a good game. The officiating sucked.
Well, I think it always does, right? Everyone always has a gripe with the officials.
By the way, you called on the way.
What was that?
you called on the way.
Oh yeah, are they?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be on the lookout. I'll be on the lookout.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad you enjoyed the game, Christina. You know what, Christina? Look at that. Just straight up, the officiating sucked. Well, okay, I get what you're laying down. I know people don't like officiating, Christina, but I think it's kind of hard to blame officiating when you let the other team shoot over 50% and lost by 17.
I mean, not to mention, though, if the officiating wasn't somewhat favorable in MSG, they'd be banned from the Garden.
Right?
Banned. I'm just teasing. But no, that's just...
I get what you're laying down. I remember I asked Travis on air one day. I was making a joke about the New York Rangers, right? Because they made a dumb move, and he's a hockey guy. And I'm like, are they the most poorly run organization of all of hockey? And he's like, well, I work for an NBA team, and they're owned by the same guy who owns the Knicks, so I'm not going to answer that question. I was like, well played, my friend. Well played. Well played. Oh, my gosh. I had to hurt. He got to – I'm so happy for Travis. He got to go back to New York, got to see some family, did not go to the Yankee game because he said his mom would have not let him hear the end of it, right? You came all the way to New York, and you didn't come say hi? He said he'll be back in the summer, though. Now I'm extra jealous to get all the way back to New York, go watch some Knicks games over the summer. Do you ever get out to the baseball over the summer? Let's not count Mariners. You got to get out and go watch a baseball game somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere would be intriguing. Like I told you earlier, I'm planning on going to a Mariner game in June. But beyond that, Chris, it's almost like you kind of have to plan to travel to go somewhere. I mean, don't get me wrong. As soon as it's there, you're gonna have to peel me off the new A's stadium in Vegas, man. That's gonna be a real fun place to go catch a baseball game. But you're right. No, I need to cross some more stadiums off my mark. Heck, I've only been to a couple NBA stadiums, Chris. I need to cross more of those off my mark.
I know. My wife got me this wonderful gift. I think it was either Father's Day or birthday. Everything warps together, but it's like not a bracelet, but it's like a keychain and has charms on it, and each charm is a baseball team logo. And every time you go to a game, you can order a new charm, and it has the date and the score of the game you were at, because you get a charm for every single stadium you've been to. So I got to go. I've been to Anaheim, I've been to Arizona, I've been to a Twins game, and I've been to Giant Stadium down there in San Francisco. I've been to Safeco. I've been to the outside of Miller Park, the outside of Wrigley Field, the outside of Truist Stadium in Atlanta. Been to the outside of Fenway. Haven't been to a game, but I gotta get some charms for the old keychain there. That's the wife got me. It is. It's a cool little idea, right?
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, you'll probably laugh at this, Chris, but for the most part, I'd say within 95%, in my 10 or so years in the business, I've saved every credential I've ever been.
That is everybody who's ever had a credential.
Fair enough. I'm like, and I actually had this great idea from a colleague of mine, and he mentioned that he was saving his credentials, and that one day he was going to get a big glass dining room table and have all the credentials underneath. And I'm like, that's a pretty good idea. So shout out my friend Carter for that. I may be stealing that.
Hey, that's a smart idea. I did that. We did that with like my parents' table in their garage, but we did it, especially in college when you partook extra. I took a label off of every single beer can I had, or beer bottle, excuse me. I took the label off of it, and then we made the table out of the labels of all the beer cans.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That's
I like
a good
that.
idea. That's a good idea. So anyway, all right, we're going to take a quick little break here on the fifth quarter. When we come back, we're going to head to the coach's corner, hear what Coach Billups had to say following this loss to the Knicks. We're also going to hand out a game ball, continue to wrap this thing up, put a little bow on it, and get out of here. Because you know what? New week starts tomorrow. We need some rest. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Brenden Slaughter on the other side of the glass. This is the fifth quarter presented by Coors Light on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
For the latest on tonight's game, we head to the Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups.
Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Time now to head to the Coach's Corner. Let's hear what Coach Billups had to say following this 110-93 loss to the Knicks.
The fact that we was in it for so long was pretty good because we just had a rough night shooting the ball. Our bench had a really rough night. But anytime you're on the road, you're playing against a really good team. You're gonna have to shoot it pretty good. For us to shoot it 25% from three and 57 from the free throw, it's tough to compete in a game like that. But we did. We competed. We stayed in. I think it was a 1-point game. We had just got a turnover, turned it over, and they made a three. I mean, just some tough breaks.
What did you think of Denny's night?
Denny, he had another great night. Carried us in a lot of different ways. I thought he and Shaden, really carried us through the night. When everybody else was kind of having a rough one, other than Tumani made shots and had a tough one with the coverages they were playing him. But Denny was excellent, all night.
Did you extend minutes for those guys because the other guys didn't have it going, or was this game that obviously, you look at the standings and having the chance of getting to play and less and less chances? Was it a situation where you were trying to get this one?
Yeah, I'm trying to do the best I can to try to put us in position and get the win, and so you play the guys that are playing well, and you play the guys that you feel like can really give you the chance, and I did that, and they did the best they can. My guys fought their butts off. I'm proud of them for that. It just was a tough mountain to climb today.
Shalom from Israel.
Shalom.
Can you tell us a little bit about Denny? We saw his incredible game today. Your thoughts about Denny in general?
In general, obviously I love Denny. He's been a great player for us this year. It's been fun coaching him. It's been fun really getting to know him. And I'm glad you guys got to see a great game from him. And I wish we could have won the game. I'm sure he does too. But it's been really fun coaching Denny.
Who is the MVP tonight for the Trailblazers? It's time for Game Balls on Fifth Quarter.
Well, speaking of Denny Avdia, I don't think there's any other option for the game ball. He went out there at 33 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 22 points in the first half. He played 40 minutes in this ball game, which is still kind of crazy. I don't know if he needed to play that much. I don't think he, too, or Shea needed to play 40 minutes. I think you could have got them probably closer to 30. Let Matisse, Chris, and heck, even Justin Minaya get a little bit of a run. Ryan Rupert and Jabari Walker each played 1 minute. Jabari Walker played 1 minute like he was just the end of the bench guy, and he's also had times this year where he's been the starter. So I think it would have been fair to play them a little bit more, let those guys rest a little bit in these games that they may not matter. You can go undefeated the rest of the way, and you're probably still not making the play-in. You have to get 5 more wins than Sacramento over your next 7 games, right? If you would have included this, it would have been 8. So if you would have gone 8-0, that you would have had to have Sacramento go 3 and 5 the rest of the way, and I don't think that's going to happen, right? So mathematically, technically, there's a chance. But again, logic says otherwise. And so I think it would have been smart just to play those guys just a little less and let them get a rest, because I don't think that fatigue factor is worth it, right? Because you want to make sure these guys are healthy the rest of the way, because you still got a game on Tuesday. Then you end this road trip on a back-to-back Thursday, Friday, Toronto, Chicago, and then you have 4 more games after that, after this road trip is done. So I think you want to just be smart about it. I would have liked to see some of those other guys get a run. All right, speaking of rest of the way, I think that's going to do it for this show, but that doesn't mean we don't got plenty more to talk about. I will have Trailblazers courtside for you tomorrow from 6 to 7. Chad Doing will also have the Rip City Drive from 3 to 6, so plenty of content coming up there. And then on Tuesday, you got Blazers at Atlanta, tip-off at 4:30, meaning I will have Blazers game day for you starting at 2:30 right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio. 620. Do I have you on Tuesday?
Chris, you got me a ton this week, man.
Heck yeah, look at that.
So looking forward to it, man. See you tomorrow for
I
courtside.
like being able to see my producer.
Yes, sir.
Ba-dunch. All right. Once again, Blazers go into Madison Square Garden, the Windy Apple. Simpsons reference. Capital City. Come on. And they lose to the Knicks 110-93. Blazers will be back in action on Tuesday down in Atlanta. I'll have Blazers game day for you at 2:30. Until then, Rip City. We'll talk to you on the next one.